Welcome to Malindi K Expeditions. Subscribe to our channel, like, comment, share it with your mates. We would love to have you aboard as we restore Malindi K to her former glory and we take off on adventures of a lifetime.
Righto, slip day. We're moving crap. Everything we need for the slips on the back deck here. All of our paint. All of our supplies. What we're going to do is wrap the cabins with some pallet wrap. All the pallet wrap down there. We're going to wrap the cabins because they're all nicely painted with clean glass. So we're all bloody just prepping. Doors off for the wheelhouse over there. Engine room doors. Fan room door. Wheelhouse door. Brent's getting ready to take the back duckboard off. That's going to get some modifications done. And that back door there's coming off as well to be painted. So heaps of prep work this morning. My job at the moment is coffee machine. I have to make the coffee. Just prepping again. We're going to take these arms off, these stabilizer arms off. We debating whether to keep these on or not, but they got the stabilizers up in there. The mounts are there for them. Like, it'd clean the boat up if we didn't have them on, but I can see us at some stage needing them when we're steaming in a big ocean or something. So at this stage we're going to leave them on, but we'll get them all done up and painted.
We were pretty excited for our haul out to see the biggest transformation of Malindi K's restoration to date, but also understood the huge workload we had set ourselves over the next 2 weeks on the slip. Once lifted by the 300-ton travel lift, the first step was to complete a full water blast of the hull. All the water blasting of the hull was completed, we fired up the Gardner and the deck crane to remove the duckboard for some repairs. deck crane and a fair bit of ingenuity, we removed the braces and both port and starboard stabilising arms for some repairs and painting, but also to allow access needed for the upper superstructure to be prepped and painted in the overall process.
Oh, darling, no. Oh, I thought you were going to swing it up and over.
No, I'm waiting for you to get down here. Bigger. Oh.
There goes our washer.
Alright. Can you hit that, Amanda?
No. In?
Yeah, in.
It's coming. It's gone.
It's up there.
I got that.
Alright, yeah, right, you got it. Here's the big hammer. Righto, you want me up there? No, stay there. Step back and it goes to go. Step back. She's free, mate.
Stuck there.
I've just got a lug that's going to come, so it might step over the lug, I'm not sure. Righto. Hang on. A lug up there or?
Yeah.
I'll come.
It's a bit. Yeah, you're on.
Bottom. Do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, right on it. So if you take it down, I'll back off completely on the back, and we'll use this one.
It's all going to plan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to plan. It's frustrating as hell. Should be in the shed already. The sandblasting should be going on, but they're taking their time. So it's a little bit frustrating at the moment.
I suppose. Anyway, we're ready to rock. We got it all wrapped up there, haven't we?
There's a meeting going on in the shed up there.
Finally going in, mate.
Yeah, thank God. We'll have to pick up all of these arms.
We took off stabilisers,
Yeah. Try and find some
vessels.
vessels and put them on.
Alrighty, so looking at the starboard side, inside the shed. So it's a bit frustrating at this stage. We've done a lot of prep work. You can see that's all rust converter that's run down there, but that's all good. So this top side we're painting, but below the water line, the slipway boys are doing it. It's about to start sandblasting it, but which only they're allowed to sandblast, and then they'll spray that. It's got primers and tie coats and all sorts of stuff going on there. So we're at a bit of a loose end really until these guys crack on and do their stuff before we can crack on and get all our stuff done. So these are underwater stabilizing fins that are welding in there, and we took off the stabilizer arms. You saw that footage. There's a little bit cowboy, but safe cowboy of course. So that's a different profile of those stabilizing fins there. And here's some keel cooling. This keel cooling on this side's not hooked up at this stage. But what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the hydraulic steering through these, because it does get quite warm, and that will yeah, help that whole system operate a lot better. We took off all the anodes. We got new anodes that we will put on eventually as well. So single screw, which is great. I think only one engine. We checked all the bearings and everything in there. That's all rock solid. And the actual keel cooling on this boat is integral. It's all part of the keel for the engine, that is. That's all that there. So this here is the transducer, the old transducer block setup, but we're actually going to get a 24 degree or 20 degree new transducer, and it's going to go in there for the new Furuno gear, because this one here, we can just see it being absolute dramas. It's going to be much quicker. Just put a new hole saw through there, and that's actually in the bottom of the bilge underneath the engine, but kind of fairly accessible, as accessible as things can be on a boat. Big bulbous bow, that works like an absolute ripper. So that old anchor here, that's going, it's a mess, but that's a brand new XL anchor. And this boat has provisions for a bow thruster, so maybe one day. Battledeck's used to driving trawlers, big single screw steel vessels like this, so make it happen as far as manoeuvrability goes. So you can see we took off all that timber strake through there, all the sponson, and a new one of them is going to go on eventually, but we'll probably do that once we're back in on the slip. But all that area underneath there will get prepped as part of the topside painting. All those little windows in here, all been taped up from the inside, so that we can paint up and around those little eyebrows, I think they call them. So yeah, a lot of work ahead of us. Alrighty, so day one of sandblasting. Not a whole lot done, but they've done a pretty good job. Nice little before and after section here. Excuse the shadow. Oh. He's going again.
Is he?
Yep.
Right. Who's got the fastest lift?
Fastest lift, yeah.
I'll do the count of three.
Yep.
Right. 1, 2, 3. I think they're identical. Holy shit, there's nothing in it. Whoa, that's getting a bit high.
Whoa.
Right.
Oh, are we? You don't want to fall.
I think you're about 150 metres off the ground.
150 metres.
Alright, on the count of 3, go down.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yours is making some noise, mate. Is that normal?
Yours? There's nothing in this, they're identical, eh? that's all we can do with these things at the moment. Is just play with them.
Yeah.
We've got all of the stuff ready to go and start doing some sanding, but we're still going with the underneath painting of the hull. Well, sandblasting's all complete on the bottom now. We've taken up above the water line, so that paint that's on the hull up there is not the best, but you know, where do you stop sandblasting? It's pretty expensive. So we've just gone up above the water line. Brent and I have gone along and marked where the water line was. We've actually dropped it an inch. So we've put some center punch, some holes along there, so we know where that water line was. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. Nice clean skin. Propeller has all been sandblasted, but they haven't painted this yet. This is the wrong type of paint, so they'll paint it tomorrow with a tie coat, and then we'll just anti-foul it. I'm not going to prop speed it or anything, you know, like it's a big old bloody slow vessel, and I don't see the need in putting that prop speed on there, so we're just going to anti-foul it as per normal, I think. So we've got access points everywhere in the hull, drain plugs basically in the keel and in the tanks and everything. And these roll chocks here, like these roll chocks, they're amazing things. They settle us down in the water like crazy. When they were sandblasting, they opened up a tiniest little pinhole here. Anyway, we fixed the pinhole, but what came out of it was like a white substance, and I think they've obviously filled these with some sort of an inhibitor to keep the steel nice inside. So we're pretty happy with everything at the moment.
Beautiful. And what's the next process? What's the next coats, and how do they work?
Yeah, we've got another coat going on tomorrow, and they have to wait until it gets tacky, and then they'll put the tie coat on that, and then that's it, and we can anti-foul when we're ready to go in the water. Whether we spray it or roll it, when it comes time, we'll decide yet, but it's all about money. We're in this massive, beautiful shed. The facilities here are fantastic. They're really good, but it comes at a price. Yeah. And our stabilizing arms, we've just had those sandblasted as well, so they're all nicely painted. All nicely painted. Someone's rubbed it. Yeah. We debated about throwing these off, but I think it'll pay off for us by keeping them on. They'll certainly settle us down. If we're in a big ocean, a big sea, or in a big roll at an anchorage or something, we can throw the bloody stabilizers in. It takes nothing to put it out, so I think it's an advantage to keep them. This is why we pay so much money for a shed. It's raining outside again. Like, the weather at the moment is absolutely crap, and we were looking at another slipway, and because of the price, we were looking at this other slipway, and we're 90% sure we were going to take it. Well, that slipway at the moment is completely underwater because of the floods, so we wouldn't have been slipping at all.
We got lucky there.
Yeah, we got lucky, but you know, this is a great facility, but you got to pay for it.
So this has gone on white over top of the grey, so see where they're going basically. Anyway, that's what's happening now. We went along with the paintbrushes and did into those welds to make sure we really got in all the joints there. You can see along this little stabilising fin here. But, yeah, that's what's happening this morning. So 2 coats to go on today, and then we can start endless sanding and fairing on these tops. Alrighty, that's just the compressor. Pressure relief you can hear in the background there, but the boys have just finished this next coat. So it's a Jotun product called Jotamastic 87, I'm pretty sure, and it's gone white over top of the primer, which was a grey colour as you saw, and they've completely finished this. So the next little process is quite critical apparently. This needs to be, and I won't touch it, but it needs to be tacky still before they then apply the Videngard tie coat. So a little bit goes into that, so the boys are monitoring this. Doesn't take them long to spray it at all with the equipment they've got here. Tell you what, underwater she's like a new boat, no doubt about it. Looks sensational. So that's where we're at, sitting around watching paint dry, and they'll get this next coat on hopefully before lunch today, and then once that's dried we're going to get up and start tackling all this topside, which we're doing all that ourselves. It looks a mess, but it's not really. So that's all areas we treated ourselves, and that's just rust converter on rust areas, and it's run with some rain, but all that will get sanded with an 80 grit with orbitals, which time consuming, but we'll smash through it pretty good. And then we're going to go through and fair any spots that we think need doing. Then we'll go back and sand again, and then we'll hit it with a Penguard primer, then sand again, and then Des is going to spray the colour himself. Alrighty, so the boys have just finished spraying another coat. So this is the third coat, and this is the actually Videngard tie coat. So after this is basically for the under the waterline, that is, just 2 coats of anti-foul to go on. Pretty happy with the result. So we just got to wait for this to dry, and then we can start attacking up here. Make sure you join us next episode as we put in some huge days prepping and painting the topsides, as well as many other projects. We also complete the remarkable transformation of Malindi K as she goes back into the water.
Drift away, I find my space, I spend my time down the rabbit hole again, and as I fall I can feel the pain.
We hope you're enjoying our restorations and adventures aboard Malindi K. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment or share it with your mates. It's a free way to help support Malindi K Expeditions. Chuck in some fuel money and become a Patreon. You'll find the link in our description. We truly appreciate your support and connecting with like-minded people. Cheers, and remember, the sea is always calling.